So one of the things I want to talk about are video game strategy guides, because, you know, this is essentially now kind of lost media-ish, mainly because, you know, they don't make these anymore. Because, you know, back in the day, you would buy a video game like this, and then you might end up eventually picking up a strategy guide because, like, you like the game so much. So I just want to talk about strategy guides and kind of just talk about what exactly happened to strategy guide, along the way of also just showing off my strategy guide collection, because this would give me a reason just to show off this collection that I've accumulated throughout the years. Because the past few years, I have been picking up a lot more strategy guides than I ever did in the past, because I still have some of the ones that I bought when I was growing up, but I also don't really have a lot of the other ones I had when I was growing up, because I got rid of a lot of them because I didn't need them because they're taking up space on my bookshelf. Now let's talk about the strategy guide that is right here, of course, and that is the Sunset Overdrive strategy guide. Now this is one I got a few years ago, mainly because I saw it at my local video game store and they had it for super cheap. And it's like, when it comes to Sunset Overdrive, I've done everything in this game, but I just wanted the strategy guide just because I love the game a lot. Now when we talk about like what exactly happened to strategy guys, the first thing you got to realize is like the internet happened. The internet is like most definitely one of the main things, but at the same time you got to realize the internet was around when strategy guys were in their heyday, because, you know, they had video game forums and all that. But the one thing that really took strategy guides out the way is YouTube. And the main reason why I say YouTube is that's mainly because of let's plays and walkthroughs. Those were some of the things that killed strategy guides, because, you know, strategy guides eventually became obsolete because it was like, dog, what do I need a strategy guide for when I can go watch somebody's let's play or their walkthrough? But yeah, here goes this Tomb Raider Underworld one I got. The crazy thing is I found this at my local video game store and it was brand new, and I was like, yes, I want this, and it was cheap too. I was like, I need this. I have Underworld for the 360, so this was just something nice to have that I can add to that game and like go through and see if there's anything extra I needed. Here goes my Parasite Eve strategy guide. Now this is one I scooped up off Macari, and it actually was like for a pretty cheap price, so I had to get this one, and this is one I'm happy I have in my collection. And it's like going through, and it's like looking through this strategy guide while I'm playing the game, it kind of helps you out with a few things, especially like when it comes to the tools and understanding some things, I will say that. But also, one of the things I've always loved about strategy guides that I will say I like a little bit more than looking something up on YouTube, it's just like I can just flip a page and next thing you know I have the answer to the puzzle. Especially like for Resident Evil games, it's super easy for that, just to see the code right there to unlock a certain like safe or something like that. Or when it comes to like Silent Hill games, knowing where like all the ammo's at, because, you know, sometimes when you watch a walkthrough or a let's play, they're not going to pick up all the ammo that is in the game, where if you look in a strategy guide, it will most definitely show you where all that ammo is throughout like the whole city or certain areas. So that's one of the things I always loved about strategy guides. But here goes my Resident Evil remake strategy guide. Now this is one I picked up I think off of Macari too, because like I kind of wanted the strategy guide, especially because I was making a video for it. I will say you will notice a pattern in this video, is it's going to be a lot of survival horror or Tomb Raider, I will say that, and some Pokemon, because I do have a little bit of a mixture of strategy guides. Now one thing I will say about strategy guides, especially like if you're collecting strategy guides now, is that they range in price. Either they're going to be super cheap or you're going to find one that's expensive, especially like this one right here, this Silent Hill 3 strategy guide. For some goddamn reason it has to be expensive, because, you know, almost everything attached to Silent Hill is so goddamn expensive, especially when it comes to the first 4 games. All that shit is so goddamn expensive, and it's like even the strategy guide is. I will say I got this one at a way cheaper price than like what I've been seeing, because I saw some stuff where it's like 60 and up. I got this a little bit cheaper than that because I was like, I'm not paying a certain price, plus I had some extra money I could use to get this. But sadly I will say some strategy guides do be hella expensive. But yeah, here I'll show you off the Silent Hill one. I guess I should be showing off the backs, yeah, because I wasn't doing that. Here I'll show you all the backs of all these other ones. Now, one of the other things, of course, attached to YouTube that most definitely kills strategy guys is that you can go to YouTube and just type in a certain thing from the game if you're looking for a mission or like how to unlock a certain area. You can literally look it up on YouTube, and the videos on YouTube will show you a step-by-step what you need to do. Yes, I will say there are some videos that for some goddamn reason will skip over shit and just show you like the answer or something like that. But I'm talking about like the really good videos that you go to, they'll show you a step-by-step. Where like in the strategy guide, it will tell you what you need to do, but like it's always so much easier just to see it like in the video than like the strategy guide that tells you what to do. And sometimes when it comes to the strategy guide, you still won't know what to do, even though they're telling you what you gotta quote unquote do. That's like one of the things that always did suck about strategy guides, is like, yeah, it tells you what to do and it'll show you a little picture, but it's not the same as like seeing it like in a video. But here goes my Final Fantasy X one. I got this one for super cheap. I think this one was like $10, which is not that bad for a strategy guide. Of course, since I have Final Fantasy X, you know I'm gonna have 10 too. So here goes my 10-2 one. And then here goes the back. And of course, like along the line of the internet, another thing you could obviously say is Google. Google most definitely too, because I could just type in Google, I'm looking for such and such in this game, and then bam, you can see a whole bunch of different things. Either you're gonna see some old video game forums, or you're gonna have like a wiki, or you just have like a whole walkthrough like on IGN or something that would tell you how to do certain puzzles and codes and all that. And it just makes these strategy guides not needed. Now here, I want to show you my Last of Us remaster one. Now this one came from my friend, because this is when he got it, like when the remaster one came out for the PS4. He got this and he just gave it to me because like it does have some water damage, but it's not really that bad. One of the funny things to think about is like if we still got strategy guides, The Last of Us would have like so many goddamn strategy guides, because you know Naughty Dog is always putting them out. I mean, this game technically already had two, because this is the remaster strategy guide, and you know the PS3 one also got a strategy guide. Pretty funny when you like look at this strategy guide and you know there was a strategy guide for the PS3 that, you know, they made two strategy guides for essentially the same game. And then it's like you look at how Last of Us is now and how they've done the same shit with Naughty Dog re-releasing the game so many goddamn times, because I see they're releasing the game another goddamn time with some like complete edition or some shit. It's like, dog, how many times can they re-release the same goddamn game? Now here goes another strategy guide I have, which is like the Tomb Raider Survival series, like the first game. I got this one from like this one shop online. They ended up having this for super cheap, and I got it. I think it was like $10 on there. I said, dog, I need this one. Sadly, I don't have like the middle game, but I do have Shadow of the Tomb Raider one, because that is one I scooped up when that game first came out. Now here goes a strategy guide that I bought off Macari, and I bought the wrong one because this is the damaged one. And as you can tell, if you can see, this bitch is damaged because like it's seen some better days, because I think this one is like completely water damaged. And this is for my Clock Tower 3 one, which is sad. It's like, dog, why does my Clock Tower one have to be so messed up? It's only the front, because the pages on the inside, they don't look that bad. It's just really just the outside that's really messed up. And that's why I kind of have these things on it, because I just didn't like the way it feels, because it kind of feels weird. But it's like, the thing is, I didn't pay that much for this, so I'm not that mad. But at the same time, I can't lie, I did buy the wrong one, because I remember when this one came in, I was like, why does it feel like this? And then I looked up and I was just like, I bought the wrong one. Now next one I got is my Resident Evil 0 one. Now this is one I was happy to get, because Resident Evil 0 is one of my all-time favorite Resident Evils, even though I know a lot of people don't rock with Resident Evil 0, but hey, I rock with this game heavily. Another strategy guide I gotta show off is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Now this is a strategy guide I had to get, because Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is my all-time favorite Resident Evil game, so I had to have a strategy guide for this that I could pair it up with the game just to add for my collection. Now the next strategy guide I got is one that I got from somebody from Instagram, mainly because they were selling it, and it's the Japanese version of Umbrella Chronicles. Now this one, as you can tell, is vastly different than, you know, English strategy guides, because, you know, Japanese strategy guides, most of the time, some of them are like really small. It just depends, because, you know, the Japanese strategy guides usually are different sizes, and as you can tell, this one is a very small one, and I'm not mad, because this one saves space. And then like, this is the only one I have in Japanese. I just had to get this one because I kind of wanted it, and plus like he was selling it for not that expensive of a price, and I was like, hey, let me just get this to add to the collection. When it comes to like strategy guides, one of the things you will notice is that they slowly but surely did disappear starting around 2018 to like 2019. That's kind of like the last few times you really saw a lot of games get strategy guides, because when I used to go into Myers, I would always see like the 2018 God of War strategy guide in there. It would always be in there. It would be one that was always in the store, and nobody was buying them. And that's kind of why strategy guides disappeared, because people were not going out of their way and buying strategy guides. And also, there were a lot of strategy guides I saw go on clearance, especially like at Barnes & Noble. That's how I got a certain strategy guide that I most definitely would have normally never bought, mainly because I don't really like the game like that. And that is my Pokemon Shield hardcover. Got this strategy guide either in 2020 or 2021. I just know it was like during one of the Barnes & Noble hardcover sales. I don't remember which year it was exactly, but this one was on clearance for like $3, mainly because nobody was buying this shit, because it's a strategy guide. And it's like, plus this is for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and nobody really yet cares about Pokemon Sword and Shield. And like, even when you look at this strategy guide, it's cool and all, and I'm pretty sure this is like the collector edition one, because I think they had like a thin one that came out like when the game came out, and this one was like a later one that came out, or they might have came out around the same time. I don't know exactly, but yeah, this is a hardcover one. This one's pretty cool. It does have some concept art in it, but for the most part, it's not really that good of a strategy guide, because especially when you compare this to some of the other Pokemon ones I will show you, there's a lot of stuff in here that is missing, and that might be because Pokemon Sword and Shield really weren't packed with that much stuff compared to some of the older Pokemon games. But yeah, this is one of the last strategy guides I got, which I think I got in 2020 or 2021. I don't remember exactly, but as you can tell, this game came out in 2019, and this is probably one of the last strategy guides probably that ever came out. I'm not sure exactly though. There might have been been other games that got strategy guides, but I'm not sure. But also I did scoop up the Shadow of a Tomb Raider strategy guide. Now this is one I think I got from Amazon, and I think I got this like in 2019 on Amazon, because like when it comes to the Astro game, I got the game like in late 2018. I think I got in like in December because it was on sale, and then I think the following year I scooped up this strategy guide. And like this strategy guide is not that bad because it also comes with a comic and a whole bunch of fan art and other concept art and like showing off the guns and all that. And that's one of the things you will notice when it comes to a lot of like the newer strategy guides. See these packed with a lot of stuff in here, more than just like showing off the playthrough and all that. And also this one has like the trophies, because you know trophies and achievements are a new thing now. So like it goes in detail like how to get certain trophies and achievement. It even talks about like what all the trophies are and what you need to do. So that's one of the helpful things, but you can tell it's vastly different than like some of these older strategy guides that kind of mainly focused on, you know, just the game. But I will say one of the cool things that strategy guides did used to do, let's take Resident Evil 3 Nemesis for example, is like one of the cool things you can have in here is like it would have all the notes from the game compiled in here. So that was always one cool thing. And even some of the notes that you had to unlock later, like Jill's diary, you could actually read it in the strategy guide instead of having to unlock it in the game. So that was always one of the cool things I liked, is that you can read like all the notes. And it's like that's kind of different than YouTube or just looking it up on Google, because you have to look it up on Google, where to me it's more convenient to read it in the strategy guide than like, of course, like, you know, looking it up on Google, or, you know, looking at the video game and having to read that note. I kind of like reading in the strategy guide more. Now I want to show you the last two strategy guides I got. These are ones I've had since I was a child. These ones are very old, and the first one is the Heart Gold Soul Silver one. This is like the part 2 I think for Heart Gold Soul Silver. This one is like the one that shows you like all the post-game content like once you finish everything in Kanto. And this one, I have worn this one out. As you can tell, it's peeling and all that, because I used to use this one so goddamn much, because this one is packed with so much stuff. As you can tell, it's a very thick one, and of course if you know, Heart Gold and Soul Silver had so much content in it, and that's why this one is packed. And I used to use this one all the time. One of the things I used to always love about this is like how it shows all the levels of the route. It shows you all the levels of the gym leaders, the Elite Four. It also shows you the level of red, and that was one of the things I loved about it. And also it shows you like when you can pick up like the gym leaders' phone numbers, or you have like some of the exclusive stuff you can get from the gym leaders, like how you can trade with certain people like Jasmine you can trade with, and also showed you like where Steven's at. So that was one of the things I really loved about this one, because it had so much detail in it, and I use this one so goddamn much. Now the last strategy guide I have is for my favorite Pokemon game of all time, and that is Pokemon Platinum. Now this is another one I used so much when I was a child, because I love Pokemon Platinum, and I love just looking here seeing all the different stuff, especially like with some of the other Pokemon, because you know one of the things about these games is it would show you like the whole Pokédex in here. And I will say that's one of the things that sucks about that Sword and Shield one, is it does not show the Pokédex in that one that I have. It just shows a whole bunch of other shit in here, where these ones they used to show the whole Pokédex along with like how you can get some of them, or like what routes they're on. And that's one thing I used to love about the old Pokemon strategy guides. But yeah, as the years have gone on, strategy guides have just disappeared because they became not needed. I know you guys could watch a video that's way more in detail. Like this video was mainly for me just to show off my video game strategy guide collection. I can't lie, that's what this video was. It wasn't really a good informational video because I'm kind of just yapping. This was just a video where I could just yap and show off my collection. But yeah, they essentially just became not needed, because like there's really no reason to have them in 2025 when you could just look up on Google or look up on YouTube and you can figure the stuff out like that. And it's like nobody really buys strategy guides either, because I would always see them in stores before eventually they disappeared or went on clearance, and then we never saw them in stores again. But let me know in the comments, what do you think exactly happened to this video game strategy guys? Let me know, what video game strategy guides do you guys have in your collection? Let me know, do you have a big collection? Do you have a small collection? Did you get rid of your collection when you were younger, or did you recently get rid of it because you don't use them anymore? Let me know, do you even use strategy guides anymore if you have them? Because I know I still use them for some of my older games, because sometimes it is easier just to look in these strategy guides, especially for some of the items and the puzzles as I'm playing the game, because most of the time I'm not about to go out of my way and just watch a walkthrough of like an older game that I've already played, or an older game that I'm just not playing for the first time. Because if I have a strategy guide, I might look in the strategy guide a little bit just to see what exactly I need to do if I'm stuck in the area, instead of like, you know, looking for a video and the video spoils me for certain things. Let me know in the comments how y'all feel about video game strategy guys. If you enjoyed the video, why not like? If you did, you could dislike, subscribe, you really enjoyed. It just really sucks that video game strategy guides are not a thing anymore, and it just really sucks, because it's kind of the same thing as video game manuals, where they all just like slowly but surely disappeared, because you know the video game companies want to save money, and a lot of this stuff is kind of not needed. Even though I will say video game manuals kind of are needed now, especially because like you go inside of a case and the case looks so goddamn bare because there's nothing in there.